Hello, let's talk about the part of safety that no one wants to admit. Most leaders today are told that in safety, more training is the answer. You've been shown slides, you've earned all the certificates, you have even dutifully ran all those toolbox talks. During all that training, you were sure to measure attendance. And you checked all the boxes on every compliance sheet. You've invested the time, you've invested money. You may have even believed you were buying safety culture certainty. The truth is simple, and maybe even a little hard to believe. Training alone will not stop all harm. Don't get me wrong, it can certainly help. In fact, it can absolutely reduce some categories of risk. But the reality is, it will not stop the next serious accident if you treat the problem the same old way. Your commitment isn't in question. The tools you've been sold are incomplete. The belief that more training equals more safety is a convenient fiction. It is convenient especially for those who sell courses. It's also convenient for organizations wanting a simple metric to show regulators and leadership they're doing something. Sure, completed modules look wonderful on a quarterly report. A large percentage of workers with current certifications looks wonderful too. It creates that reassuring illusion of control and diligence around safety. However, this illusion is fragile. It completely shatters the moment a real-world event unfolds, the kind of event that was never covered in a sterile classroom. The harsh reality is that the next fatality will not be prevented by a quiz score. The truth? We've all been conditioned to see safety failures as human failures. The first questions most people ask during the investigation of an incident are, was the person trained? Did they follow the procedure? These types of questions frame the problem as an individual deficiency. We need to think of safety differently. Safety is an emergent property of a complex system that you can actually influence more than you think. I'd like to share a story with you. Let me tell you about a plant I know well. I'll of course change the names and a few details to protect the people involved. Good people, all trying to do good work. The company is a chemical plant. Here's where energy and materials are in constant motion. Leadership was genuinely committed to their safety culture. The whole team could be heard saying, "We want to send everyone home in the same condition they came to work in." They invested heavily in safety. They had a model program, even had the ISO certification to show for it. Rules were documented, clear, and accessible by everyone. All their audits and inspections were run like clockwork. They even maintained continuous improvements and training for employees and for contractors. Up to date on procedures, check. Certificates current, check. Metrics looked fantastic, check. Even their safety engagement scores were high. One Tuesday morning, on a day that will forever occupy their minds and hearts, a veteran maintenance worker was killed. The worker had been assigned a routine job, a malfunctioning pump. He had done everything right, followed the permit to work to the letter. He wore all required PPE. He was their resident expert in lockout-tagout procedure, had recently recertified, even was a coach for juniors. Yet, a valve that should have stayed closed, opened. There was a violent release. It all happened in just seconds. He had no time to react. So what truly failed that morning? Was it the training, the worker, or did a system that looked perfect on paper become fragile in reality? The investigation hunted for one broken part, one human error, one deviation. The answer lay in the gap between training and doing. Training assumes linear steps, perfect tools, no pressure. But what if step 3 is impossible because a valve is seized? Or when production pressure compresses your choices? Behavior isn't a switch. It's a dynamic response to a changing environment, not just knowledge, judgment under pressure, with aging gear and equipment. Competing goals force trade-offs daily. Training doesn't fix broken valves or resolve production conflicts. This wasn't a failure of knowledge. He knew the rules. It was a failure to account for reality, where risk exists between page and floor. Until we focus on the work as it's done in the field each day, not the training in the classroom, we'll keep being surprised. Why do we instinctively reach for more training as the cure? Well, it's tangible. An easy fix. Just retrain our way to a perceived solution. Clear, low cost, low impact, defined deliverable. Roll it out. Print a completion report. Done. It'll never happen again. Right? It feels decisive, like we addressed the problem. It's easy to measure, but often meaningless. We got 100% attendance, all the passing scores, and now we have clean dashboards. Metrics for training completion soar while serious incidents don't move. In a crisis, the records defend the existing system by blaming the person. Training treats symptoms, not causes. We retrain people to spot missing rails, instead of fixing why they're missing. Comforting, but it doesn't fight the infection. Instead, I challenge you to redirect your time, money, and energy into observing real work, improving tools and procedures, and engaging in real conversations. The training-centric model assumes people are interchangeable. They aren't. Give 10 people the same rules. They won't behave the same way. People are wired differently for risk. Some are methodical, deliberate, clarity-seeking. They read every line. They'll stop to ask questions. In stability, they are anchors of discipline. Others are fast and adaptive, holistic scanners. They diagnose what isn't in the manual. If you only value one style, you punish the other. A resilient system leverages both. To move forward, we must be honest about 5 failures of training-only strategies. 1. Training is decontextualized. The game is taught in quiet rooms but played in chaos. Real work is interruptions, failures, pressure. Workers bridge the gap alone. 2. It assumes a uniform human response. There is no average worker. People and conditions vary continuously. 3. We track compliance, not capability. Tests don't measure judgment, weak signal detection, or adaptation. 4. It ignores system design and leadership signals. Poor tools and mixed messages drive workarounds. Training can't fix a bad workflow. 5. Certificates can create false confidence. The paper shield blocks our view of real risks. Curiosity drops. We think the problem's solved until it isn't. What should you do instead? Don't abandon training, reposition it. See training as one component in a smarter system. Use it to create shared language and foundations. Then focus on the work itself. Design environments that make safe choices easy. Get out of the room and onto the floor. Watch and listen. Use confidential observations and non-judgmental interviews. Notice adaptations, improvisations, deviations, then ask why. Make procedures realistic. Make tools user-friendly. Build flexibility. Teach smart choices, not blind obedience. Align leadership signals. Celebrate safe adaptations. Let operations show that safety is a driver, not a slogan. After the fatality, leadership faced a choice. They did not double down on blame and force more training, the easy path. Instead, they chose to learn and improve. Everyone, engineers, operators, maintenance, learning and building together. They spent hundreds of hours observing without judgment. While observing, dozens of small, crucial disconnects emerged. The result? They simplified permits into a real-time planning tool. They replaced unreliable valves across units. Supervisors tracked stable, safe production. Leaders learned to discuss risk and avoid biases and judgments. Gone were the days of, "Are you following the rule?" Instead, it became, "What are today's conditions for success?" Know this, results weren't instant, but they lasted. Safer, more resilient, embedded in daily work. Here's the hard truth. Safety isn't bought in classrooms. It's built in daily work, through smarter systems, better tools, and honest conversations. Start where risk really lives. Observe real tasks, fix weak tools, and design choices that make the safe way the easy way. Lead with clarity. Reward smart adaptations. Ask every day, what are today's conditions for success? Don't buy more training to feel safe. Build a system that is safe. Let's get to the floor and start today.